Good evening, everybody. We'll try that again. Welcome to the Town Board of the Town of Ossining regular meeting for January 22nd, 2019. Please rise and join me for the pledge, and please remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic, God. Join me for a moment of silence for Penny Markowitz Moses, an Ossining native and former Ossining Village trustee and deputy mayor for many years, who passed away yesterday following a brave battle with cancer. Penny was a wonderful woman, contributed so much to the Ossining community, and was beloved by many. Her humor, kindness, and quick wit will be sorely missed, and we send our thoughts to her loved ones in Ossining and around the country. Please join me in this moment of silence, remembering our friend Penny and all that she brought to our great town and village. Thank you.
Councilmember Shaw,
Present.
Councilmember DeTore,
Present.
Councilmember Wiltshire,
Present.
Councilmember Feldman,
Present.
and Supervisor Levenberg.
Here. Okay, so I will start with some announcements. The joke was on us this weekend, but we are not mad at all. The snow that was on its way never materialized, and instead we got a little ice and a lot of wind. I am very glad to say that we did not have the wide-reaching power outages that were expected, which is very lucky since the temperature was in the single digits and below most of the weekend. Unfortunately, because of the weather fluctuations, we did have a number of water main breaks. Thanks so much to the Village Water Department and our town highway for responding so quickly and taking care of the problems as expeditiously as possible in some frigid temperatures. As recently as last night, they were out many hours. Also, as always, thanks to our emergency crews for being ready for the worst. We had several Martin Luther King Jr. events this past weekend. At the Cooperative Scholarship Fund MLK event, we honored Cardozo Woody Worthy posthumously for all his good work for the village and school district and our community as a whole, from his many years of volunteerism. Mary Rainey, the executive director of WestCOP, and for all the good work they have done, and with CAP, when CAP was here in Ossining, and for shepherding her wonderful grandson, Andre Rainey, in this world, who is now the mayor of Peekskill and was also the keynote speaker. And finally, Bill Broadnax, who has been a critical member of our Ossining community for his good work in the Ossining Public Library with the NAACP and beyond. Student performances were also wonderful, courtesy of Ossining High School's Gimme the Mic. On Sunday night, the Briarcliff Ossining Ministerial Association hosted a remembrance ceremony in honor of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King at Congregation Sons of Israel, where we heard from clergy representing many different religious sects, as well as from the Briarcliff High School choir, as we contemplated the many messages of Dr. King and how we can use them today to inform our actions. Sunday morning, Mayor Garrity and I, along with corrections officers from Sing Sing and members of the board of the Sing Sing Prison Museum, had the privilege of greeting some visitors from Ireland, including the former mayor of Limerick, Honorable Joe Harrington, and his wife and their friends and family, who were interested in their connection to Sing Sing Correctional Facility as they work on a restoration project of an old schoolhouse in Lyro Crumpain, a student of whom from that school served on the staff of Sing Sing in the 1800s. Last Thursday, we held 2 sessions at the Ossining Public Library on Project Forward, the town's initiative funded by a state grant to get community feedback on several specific ideas related to municipal restructuring. We had 2 discussions with members of the community, which we filmed for GoTV, and you can see them on the town's YouTube channel. Let us know what you think about the ideas we presented and the comments that we heard, and please share any ideas you might have. If anything is unclear, feel free to contact the town board at T as in town, C as in council, at townofossining.com, and we will try to answer your questions. The next step will be for us to hold a town board work session to discuss community input, provide information, and answer questions which have arisen from the public sessions, and talk about next steps. We will share that date with you soon. Please remember, the second half of Ossining and Briarcliff Manor School District taxes is due by January 31st, which is a week from this Thursday. You can come drop off your payment in person. The tax office on the third floor of 16 Croton is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and will be open until 6 p.m. on Wednesday the 30th and Thursday the 31st for your added convenience. You can also pay your bill online, which is an easy and inexpensive way to get instant proof that your payment was received, subject to collection from your bank, or the $1.50 e-check fee. As of last fall, you can use the dedicated postal slot at the Ossining Post Office, which will get your bill delivered to us directly, or you can mail your payment to us, but please keep in mind that if you choose to mail your payment, you can only accept a payment as timely if it has a postmark made by the United States Postal Service dated on or before the 31st of January 2019. If you use bill pay from your bank, please be sure that the date process your bill pay request is with enough time so that the USPS postmark will be postmarked timely. So recognize that you need to do that a little bit earlier. A special note to those in Briarcliff: tomorrow, Wednesday, January 23rd, if you are a registered voter in the village of Briarcliff Manor, be sure to get out and vote. People's Caucus Voting Day will take place at the Youth Center on Van Louvan Road between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. As far as this weekend goes, several events and concerts scheduled for last weekend were either canceled or postponed. Please check out my supervisor's update e-blast this Friday for more information on the rescheduling of some of those events. I know I will be keeping my eyes peeled for the rescheduling of the live jazz performance of Rio Nova. This Saturday, January 26th, Westchester Collaborative Theater will host their midwinter rock to rap dance party featuring DJ Johnny J, a local Ossining resident and popular live event DJ for many decades. Come dance off your post-holiday blues and boogie with your friends and neighbors starting at 6:30 p.m. down at 23 Water Street. Tickets are $20 at the door, and there will be a cash bar and refreshments available. Visit wctheater.org for more information. Finally, although a way out from now, mark your calendar for trivia night with the Ossining Children's Center. On Sunday, February 10th, between 4 and 7 p.m., come down to Demeter's Tavern and Sports Bar in Tarrytown and test your knowledge against other teams. Bring your own team or come ready to make some new friends. Tickets are $25 in advance or $30 at the door, and all proceeds go to benefit the Ossining Children's Center. Visit OssiningChildren'sCenter.org to learn more and get your early bird tickets. With that, do I have any other announcements from my board colleagues? And I see that I do.
On Friday, the 25th, Scott Craven will be talking about all the critters that fly, swim, or walk around the Hudson Valley at the Ossining Boat and Canoe Club. The door opens at 7. The talk starts at 7:30. It is free for all. So again, Ossining Boat and Canoe Club, Scott Craven will be talking about all the animals that live in our area, or at least in our river.
Okay, wonderful. And that's at OBCC. And else?
On Friday, on Thursday, January 31st. That's right, right? It's that
next week?
Thursday?
Yeah.
There's going to be the county's doing a housing needs assessment. They're going to have a listening session, public information gathering session at the community center. Everybody who's interested in housing and what your housing needs are, please come to this. It's a great time to talk about a wide range of issues that affect housing here in our county. That's, again, the 31st of January from 6 to 8 p.m. at the community center.
And also, Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff has her Ossining Town meeting that night at the Ossining Public Library from 7 to 9 p.m. So there's a couple of conflicting, but yet in both important opportunities for you next Thursday, January 31st. Okay. And with that, are there any liaison reports? Hearing none. Departmental reports, we have none. And do we have any public comment on any of the agenda items? Hearing none, we can move into board resolutions.
Okay. Approval of minutes, reorganization meeting. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby approves the January 8th, 2019 minutes of the reorganization meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated January 8th, 2019, in the amount of $205,462.22 for 2018 and $464,293.32 for 2019, for a total of $669,755.54.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
So we're back in our rhythm with bills, as you can see from this week's voucher detail report. This one includes 2 months of medical insurance, 1 month of intermunicipal payments to the village, and our once-a-year sewer IMA payment to the village of Austining. We are still going to be in between years for a while, thanks to the folks in our finance office for helping us keep it all straight. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Hudson River Valley Greenway Compact Grant Program, Lewis Engle Waterfront Park Plan. Whereas the town of Austining is applying to the Hudson River Valley Greenway for a grant under the Hudson River Valley Greenway Planning Grant Program for a project entitled Lewis Engle Waterfront Park Plan to be located in the town of Austining. Now therefore be it resolved that the governing board of the town of Austining hereby does approve and endorse the application for a grant under the Hudson River Valley Greenway Planning Grant Program for a project known as Lewis Engle Waterfront Park Plan and located within this community.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So as you probably know by now, one of this board's main focuses has been our town parks, and Engle Park is considered by most to be the gateway to our community. We have applied for this grant in the past, and we did not get it. We understood because other communities got more broad comprehensive plan grants, but we were encouraged to reapply this next round. And if we don't get it again, we're going to apply for a slightly different grant through the Greenway. If we are able to, for the next round, we're still trying to get basically planning money for the park to do a master park plan, even though the Greenway doesn't like that term, but we're still going to use it to one another, so we all understand what it is. And yes? Valley Green? Under the Hudson River Valley Greenway?
Oh,
It says,
sorry.
you gotta read a little
I'm
bit
just asking
further.
a question.
Under the Hudson River Valley Greenway Planning Grant Program. Under the
Oh,
Hudson
that's
River
the-
Valley
that's the
Greenway.
name of the-
Right.
That's who's.
Thank you.
Okay.
Actually, it was a little confusing.
Yeah, 'cause I saw
Yeah.
it the first, that's the second time I saw it.
Endorse the application for a grant under the Hudson River Valley Greenway Planning Grant Program. Okay, so it's just where it
Okay.
cuts off on the page. It's a little.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
This is their language,
In
not
any
us.
case, this is something that we applied for before, we did not get, we're going to try again. This is also part of our CDBG applications, except that that's out a little farther, and that's for bricks and mortar when we have a plan in place. So we're trying to get some grant money to help us get the plan in place, so that we can then get the money for the bricks and mortar later on down the line. So that's that. Did I get a motion already?
You have a
Okay, in
motion.
a second. Questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Calling for a public hearing in the matter of the 2019 cabaret license renewal for Maya Riviera. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby calls for a public hearing to be held on Tuesday, February 12th, 2019, at 7:30 p.m. at the Birdsall-Fagan Police Court Facility located at 8688 Spring Street, Austining, New York, 10562, in the matter of the 2019 cabaret license for Maya Riviera Bar and Restaurant, 518 North State Road, Briarcliff Manor, New York, 10510.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, this is our first cabaret renewal request of 2019. Maya has only gotten great feedback from neighboring properties in the past, but we have scheduled this public hearing to make sure that nothing has changed since last year. We will look forward to seeing the proprietors on Tuesday, February 12th, and obviously anybody from the public who has anything to say for that hearing right here back at the courthouse. Next up, we already voted, sorry.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of heavyweight equipment and machinery for the town of Austining, Westchester County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $504,772, and authorizing, subject to permissive referendum, the issuance of $504,772 serial bonds of said town to pay the cost thereof. Be it resolved that by the affirmative vote of not less than 2/3 of the total voting strength of the Town Board of the Town of Ossining, Westchester County, New York, as follows. Section 1, the purchase of heavy equipment and machinery for the Town of Ossining, Westchester County, New York, is hereby authorized, subject to permissive referendum, at a maximum estimated cost of $504,772. Section 2, the plan for financing the aforesaid maximum estimated cost is by the issuance of a $504,772 serial bonds of said town hereby authorized to be issued therefore pursuant to the provisions of the local finance law. Section 3, it is hereby determined that the period of probable usefulness of the aforesaid class of objects or purposes is 15 years pursuant to subdivision 28 of paragraph A of section 11 of the local finance law. It is hereby further determined that maximum maturity of the bonds herein authorized will exceed 5 years. Section 4, the faith and credit of said town of Ossining, Westchester County, New York, are hereby irrevocably pledged for the payment of the principal and of interest on such bonds as the same respectively become due and payable. An annual appropriation shall be made in each year sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds becoming due and payable in such year. To the extent not paid from other sources, there shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of said town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds as the same become due and payable. Section 5, subject to the provisions of the local finance law, the power to authorize the issuance of and to sell bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance and sale of the serial bonds herein authorized, including renewals of such notes, is hereby delegated to the supervisor, the chief fiscal officer. Such notes shall be of such terms, forms, and contents, and shall be sold in such manner as may be prescribed by said supervisor, consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 6, all other matters except as provided herein relating to the serial bonds herein authorized, including the date, denominations, maturities, and interest payment dates, within the limitations prescribed herein, and the matter of execution of the same, including the consolidation with other issues, and also the ability to issue serial bonds with substantially level or declining annual debt service, shall be determined by the supervisor, the chief fiscal officer of such town. Such bonds shall contain substantially the recital of validity clause provided for in Section 52 of the local finance law, and shall otherwise be in such form and contain such recitals in addition to those required by Section 51 of the local finance law, as the supervisor shall determine consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 7, the validity of such bonds and bond anticipation notes may be contested only if 1, such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which said town is not authorized to expend money, or 2, the provisions of law which should be complied with at the date of the publication of this resolution are not substantially complied with, and an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days after the date of such publication, or 3, such obligations are authorized in violation of the provisions of the Constitution. Section 8, this resolution shall constitute a statement of official intent for purposes of Treasury Regulations, Section 1.150-2. Other than as specified in this resolution, no monies are or are reasonably expected to be reserved, allocated on a long-term basis, or otherwise set aside with respect to the permanent funding of the object or purpose described herein. Section 9, upon this resolution taking effect, the same shall be published in summary form in the official newspaper of said town for such purpose, together with the notice of the town clerk in substantially the form provided in Section 81 of the local finance law. And Section 10, this resolution is adopted, subject to permissive referendum.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So this is an exciting resolution for us. Several of our departments are in need of new plow trucks. And I think no one was more relieved than our highway garage this weekend that there was so little snow. After waiting the requisite time period, we will be ordering 2 trucks for our highway department, 2 trucks for our parks department, and 1 truck for Dale Cemetery, using either New York State contracts or piggybacking on vetted contracts from other municipalities or counties. I also feel comfortable making the decision to bond for these vehicles since they will last us for many years, and also the town has very little debt, even less since we retired the bonds on the police building and property. I look forward to adding to our fleet and being able to sell off the older trucks at auction that have done their time serving our residents. This is much needed. All those in favor?
I think
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, we were going to do I'm sorry, we're going to do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Dottori,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilcher,
Aye.
Councilmember Feldman,
Aye.
Supervisor Levenberg.
Aye.
Okay. Local Government Records Management Improvement Fund Grant. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining authorizes the town clerk to submit a shared services local government records management improvement fund grant in the amount of $150,000 with the Village of Ossining, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor and records management officer are authorized to sign any documents as required by the grant opportunity, subject to review of town council as to form.
Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
So records management is a tricky thing, and we're learning more about it every day, and we've been getting some good help and guidance from Lorraine
Hill.
Hill, who is with the
She's our regional advisory officer
From the
New York State Archives.
New York State Archives, and has been working very closely with Victoria Caffarelli, who's been working in the clerk's office as a clerk, to see if we can do a better job this time applying for this grant in conjunction with the Village of Ossining to find space in the DPW building for a records management storage system that will make it easier for us to maintain our records, town and village, moving forward. So hopefully we can also get some of them digitized. I think is that part of this grant too, or not
Well,
quite?
this grant is to purchase a mobile shelving unit for the space in the basement that's going to be used as our inactive record storage facility, hopefully upon the completion of this project. This project is also going to include hiring some inventory clerks to work on a temporary basis to inventory a good deal of the records that we currently have stored in the attic space at 16 Croton, which is our existing inactive record storage facility, and it is the least ideal location that it could be for that use. And so the grant will include purchasing the shelving, hiring inventory clerks, and developing a records management plan for the town and village that will be shared. So, yep.
That's all good news. So we're hopeful that we will, again, with the guidance of Ms. Hill, do a better job this time around in actually being able to get the money from this grant. What's out? Any questions? Discussion? Thank you so much for your leadership on this, and fingers crossed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Contract National Standby Repair, Inc., 2019. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts the service contract with National Standby Repair, Inc. of Scarsdale, New York, for monthly service on the town's 7 sewer lift station generators at a cost not to exceed $600 each, inclusive of 4 scheduled calls on each unit per year, with $225 charged for each additional service call.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
So these next 2 resolutions are contracts for our highway department and will enable us to produce purchase orders for the services provided at our pump stations, sewer pump stations. Thanks to Fern Quesada and Francine in the highway department for getting these to us so quickly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Marshall Alarm Pump Station Monitoring Agreement, 2019. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts the service contract with Marshall Alarm Systems, Inc. of Yorktown Heights, New York, for monthly monitoring at the town's 11 lift stations, 9 contracts, sewer lift station generators, at a rate of $35.95 per location per month.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Okay. We have a knocking at the door.
Order calling a public hearing in the matter of the petition for extension of the Ossining Consolidated Sewer District, 111 Hawks Avenue. Whereas a written petition dated January 8th, 2019, in due form and containing the required signature, as presented by John T. Curvin and Caroline Ronald Curvin to the Town Board of the Town of Ossining, Westchester County, New York, for the extension of the Ossining Consolidated Sewer District in said town, and whereas said premises are known as 111 Hawks Avenue, Ossining, New York, and also known as Section 80.20, Block 1, Lot 5 on the tax map of the Town of Ossining, and whereas the improvements proposed for said sewer district extension consist of the construction and installation of a sewer system, including sewer main, manhole, and other improvements incidental thereto, as well as described in the map and plan accompanying the aforesaid petition, which map and plan are on file in the town clerk's office of said town for public inspection during regular business hours. And whereas the cost of establishing such sewer district extension shall be borne entirely by the petitioner, and whereas it is now desired to call public hearing to consider the petition for the proposed establishment of said sewer district extension pursuant to section 193 of the town law, as well as for purposes of determining the environmental impact of said action. Now therefore be it ordered by the Town Board of the Town of Austining, Westchester County, New York, as follows. Section 1, a meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Austining, Westchester County, New York, shall be held at the Police Court Facility, 8688 Spring Street, in Austining, New York, on the 12th day of February 2019 at 7:35 p.m. for the purpose of conducting a public hearing to consider the aforementioned petition and to hear all persons interested in the subject thereof concerning the same. Section 2, the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause a certified copy of this order to be published in the Gazette and posted in the manner provided by law. Section 3, this order shall take effect immediately.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So we received an application from the town building department, and our role in this process is fairly ministerial. After conferring with our engineers and highway superintendent to confirm that the sewer line can be accessed, we leave it up to them to review the plans and make recommendations before a shovel enters the ground. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Inevitable, we just paved that.
On their.
Okay. Resolution authorizing survey and biodiversity in Ryder Park and the Austining Nature Preserve. Whereas the town was approached by Michael Rubo, Ph.D., a clinical associate professor of environmental studies and science at Pace University, with a proposal to conduct a survey of biodiversity in the Pecanico watershed. And whereas in order to conduct this survey, Dr. Rubo requested that the town permit him to install one wildlife camera in Ryder Park from February 5th to the 19th, and the Austining Nature Preserve located between Route 100 and Hillcrest Drive from February 20th to March 6th. And whereas the town has an interest in facilitating this study in order to have a better understanding of the biodiversity of the area, and now therefore be it resolved, the town supervisor is authorized to enter an agreement with Dr. Rubo to permit the installation of the wildlife cameras as proposed, and to use said footage for the sole purpose of surveying the biodiversity in the area, except that the dates that the cameras are installed may be changed if necessary, subject to approval by council to the town as to form. And be it further resolved, Dr. Rubo will be required to create and post signage at his sole expense at both locations notifying the public of the presence of the cameras. And be it further resolved, the town parks foreman shall consult with Dr. Rubo and approve the location of the cameras and ensure adequate signage is also posted.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
So, Dr. Rubo actually used to work at T-Town, and now he's at Pace, and we're excited that he's undertaking a study to look at the biodiversity in the Pecanico watershed, which is, in fact, the town of Austining, in part, and other surrounding municipalities. So we're hopeful the study will be shared widely so we can benefit from its conclusion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Resolution authorizing the extension of time for furloughed and non-pay federal workers to pay real property taxes. Whereas the State Assembly has adopted real property tax law, Section 925-E, to provide a temporary extension for payment of real property taxes owed by a person or a spouse or domestic partner of such person who has been either furloughed or designated a non-pay federal employee as a result of the lapse in discretionary appropriations by the federal government. And whereas it is expected that this proposed law will also be passed by the state Senate and signed into law by Governor Cuomo, and whereas the proposed law directs local taxing jurisdictions to adopt resolutions authorizing the extension, and whereas it is unclear how much longer the lapse in discretionary appropriations by the federal government will continue, and whereas in anticipation of the state law being enacted, the town board desires to make this extension available to those affected residents in the town of Austining to the maximum extent possible. And now therefore be it resolved in the event the shutdown continues, the town board hereby authorizes the extension set forth in real property tax law section 925-E to apply to the payment of town taxes which are due by April 30th, 2019 to the extent permitted by law. And be it further resolved, the receiver of taxes is hereby authorized to administer the extension of all affected persons upon providing sufficient documentation to prove the law applies to them as to the real property taxes of those taxing jurisdictions that have duly adopted a resolution authorizing the extension and on behalf of which the receiver accepts payment. And be it further resolved, in the event the state law is not enacted and the town is not authorized by state law to take the action set forth in this resolution, the resolution shall become null and void and of no force and effect.
We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
So I'm both excited and saddened to introduce this resolution tonight. We heard from our Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff that the Assembly had passed a bill last week enabling federal workers on furlough to get, and also unpaid, to get an extension on paying their taxes. And we wanted to make sure we did everything we could to help. While the ultimate status of the bill is still unclear, but we do believe that the Senate will be voting on it tomorrow, we wanted to be sure we had a resolution in place and passed so that if we do have the opportunity to help those folks working without a paycheck tread water for a little longer, we could. However, I am frustrated with our federal leadership that has necessitated this level of local response. I'm sure I speak for this board, and that I am proud to be able to shield our constituents who are political pawns in this process from the effects of this high-level gameplay to the degree that we are able. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Temporary beer, wine, cider permit for facilities rental, July 27th, 2019. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign the landlord authorization form for the New York State Liquor Authority for a temporary beer/wine/cider license for Mr. Christopher Kavanaugh, who has filed an application to rent the pavilion in Ryder Park in the Town of Austining on Saturday, July 27th, 2019. And be it further resolved that the applicant will provide proof of insurance and the letter of an indemnity to the town in a form acceptable to council to the town.
We have a motion.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Call a cab contracts, 2019. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign an agreement with Aguila Taxi, 25 Yates Avenue, Austining, ending December 31st, 2019, with all coupons to be reimbursed at the rate of $4.75 each.
Sorry. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
So we had 3 cab companies come forward to participate in 2019's Call a Cab, and this one, the 4th, got to us a little late. We're glad to be able to continue with this program and help our seniors get around town safely and affordably. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, Dale Cemetery fee schedule change. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby amends the Dale Cemetery schedule as follows. Section 12 prices, opening fee is $1,800, Saturday fee $850. Cremation with vaults is $950, Saturday fee is $500. Use of 2 graves from 1 interment, additional charge of $1,400. Total interment fee of $3,000.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And did you have a second? Anybody?
Second.
Thank you. A little confusing. Guess should start saying jinx. Okay, anyway. As you may recall, we adopted the Dale Cemetery fee schedule in our reorganization meeting earlier this month. However, this one change to the fee in Section 12 got by us, so thank you to Superintendent Connolly for his eagle eye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What? Did I skip something?
The math is actually wrong. The total is the same. But for opening Saturday fee, that's $1,800 plus the $1,200 is what's supposed to equal the $3,000.
Okay.
So please remove that $1,400 from your memory, leave it at $1,200, and then the total is still correct at $3,000.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. As friendly amendment, do I have a vote? All those in favor?
As
Aye. As amended?
Okay.
Anybody opposed? Okay, thanks.
Correspondence to be received and filed. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby accepts the following. Town Architectural Review Board Resolution dated December 19th, 2018, Rayford DeVerne and Sons. Town Planning Board Resolution January 16th, 2019, The Learning Experience, Resolution of Site Plan Approval. Town Architectural Review Board Resolution dated January 16th, 2019, The Learning Experience. Town Planning Board Resolution dated January 16th, 2019, the Learning Experience Resolution of Wetlands Permit Approval. Town Planning Board meeting minutes dated December 5th, 2018, and December 19th, 2018.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us through many lengthy resolutions, but hopefully productive meeting. Next Tuesday, we will be at Cedar Lane Art Center for a recognition ceremony of our volunteer boards. But on Tuesday, February 5th, we will be back at 16 Croton Avenue for a work session. We look forward to seeing everybody then. May I have a motion to go into executive session for advice of counsel and personnel?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good night, everyone, and please stay warm and bundle up out there.